Hey guys, how's it going? This is Stefan here from Lifestyle Transformations, and I thought I'd create a cool little video for you guys today based on some information that I taught at a seminar a few months back. And basically, it's about the 3 phases to ultimate success with women in dating. It's what I consider to be like the evolution to really, achieve ultimate success that we all really want with women. And all this information is really kind of based on my opinion, the way that I look at it, and it's based off kind of my 7 years of doing this now, 7 years of going out, meeting women, learning and mastering this stuff, and this stuff really makes sense. So I'm gonna take you through this cool little presentation here and explain to you exactly what I mean and what the 3 phases are. And at the end of it, then you're going to identify basically where you're at. This is ultimately for you to help you determine where you are right now in your journey and what you need to do specifically to get yourself to the next level in terms of where you want to be with women and dating. So let's jump right into it. Now, the evolution of game, there are specific stages that a man has to go through to achieve ultimate success with women. And you need to use this to identify, what stage you're in and how to constantly evolve to the next level. Okay, this is always, you're always evolving. You never get to the point and that's it. There's a never-ending point. You're always constantly improving yourself and going to a higher and higher and higher level, as with anything in life. Now, the first stage, stage one, is what I call the doing phase. And the doing phase is, the beginner phase. It's learning all the theory and the tools. It's learning, how to approach a woman, how to spark attraction, what to say, how to be playful, how to use touch, how to get a woman's phone number, how to get a date, how to, make out with her girl, how to get laid, etc. Okay? Now, the doing phase is all about getting experience under your belt. It's, getting comfortable with women. It's about overcoming your fears and anxiety. It's about experimentation, trial and error, building the basic level of competency with women. This is basically the phase that almost every guy is in when they first get started with this. We have a boot camp, for example, that is basically all the mechanics and teaching, what to do, what to say, how to do each of these steps along the way. So now, during this phase, you should only be focused on the process and not worry about the results. Most guys are always focused on the results. And what they don't understand is that if you get the process down, if you get the skills, the tools, learn all that stuff that I just mentioned before, the results are going to come. It's all about learning. You shouldn't be thinking about a relationship with a woman because, to be honest, this man is simply not ready for that. He doesn't have the tools to attract a woman, the confidence, the social skills, everything that is required to have a successful relationship. Okay? He doesn't have the mindset, the mentality of abundance. Maybe he's a little bit needy, and if you don't go through this phase, in my opinion, then he's not going to be able to sustain that relationship and have it to the quality and the level that he really wants. Okay? So as I said here, he doesn't have the tools yet he needs to succeed, but he's on the journey of improvement. Okay, so this is a crucial phase that you cannot miss, and every guy has to go through to, develop yourself, build yourself before you're ready for a relationship and the results you ultimately want. In this phase, you should be going out regularly and regularly approaching women and dating. Okay, this is the phase. It could last a few months to only a few years, and you stay in this phase only until you're getting some form of consistent results. Okay, so not until you're consistently able to approach women, meet women, date them, attract them, get laid, get phone numbers, all that stuff. You have to be able to consistently do that before you're ready to evolve to the next level. If you're still having a hard time being able to approach a woman, or you don't know what to say, or you don't know how to be playful or fun, or how to get a number, and if you can't do it consistently, then you're not ready to evolve to the next level. You stay in this phase of trial and error, experimentation, developing yourself until you're ready to evolve to the next stage. Okay, a lot of guys, they have tried to get to the next stage sooner than they're ready for. Okay, and that's not good. Now, stage two. Stage two is what I call the being phase. The being phase. I'm kind of rushing through all this stuff, but I'll include, a blog post with this that will kind of go in all this more in detail. Now, the stage two, the being phase, this is where you let go of all the tools that you've learned in the doing phase and you become a natural. Okay? Now, you can freely be yourself in this phase and have success with women because the tools are now a part of you. Okay? It's like at first, you're going through rejection and feedback, and you're trying out different things, and maybe you go to touch a woman and you creep her out, make her uncomfortable. Maybe you start trying to be playful and tease her and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't work out the right way. You go for numbers, you're getting shot down. That's part of the doing phase, okay? But what the doing phase does is it's integrating these tools a part of you. And once you get to the being phase, you're able to let go of all that stuff. Okay, you're able to let go all of it, and you basically trust that those tools and all that experience that you've accumulated through going out, getting rejected, going through feedback, experimenting, trial and error is now a part of you, if that makes sense. Now, after all your experiences with women, you developed your own unique style. Okay, you've basically figured out what works, what doesn't work. Certain things that you say in your conversations with women, maybe certain systems that you have down with dating, with following up with women, all this stuff. You have that experience under your belt. In this phase, results come freely and easily and naturally. Okay, you don't have to put in as much effort to meet and attract women either. Now, this is an important one. It's, as I said before, when you're in the doing phase, you shouldn't be focused on results. Okay, you should be focused on the process, the learning, the skills, getting all that stuff down. And the amazing thing is once you evolve to the next level and it's all a part of you and you're natural and you're basically just being yourself, this is really when the results come freely, easily, and naturally. It's just, you'll be amazed the kind of success and results you'll have. And the amazing thing is you don't have to put in as much effort. You don't have to go out as much as you were before. You don't have to go out, 4 days a week. Now all of a sudden you're going out 1 day a week or 2 days a week and you're getting more results than you were before. Okay, just because you're coming from a totally different place with meeting women. Your state, in terms of how you feel, your confidence is natural and it's strong. Okay, whereas at first it's kind of shaky, it's not that consistent, or strong, it's kind of weak. Whereas now at this point it's strong, it's solid. Nothing can affect it. You control it. You can begin to focus more on results, okay, because you already have a solid foundation that you've developed. You don't really have to go as much or do as many approaches, but it's still a part of your life. Now, in this phase, dating becomes more of a reality for you where you start seeing women more long term. Okay, I'll give you an example from my experience. When I first got into this, I was shy, I was kind of introverted, I was kind of geeky, and I was learning this stuff. I was in the doing phase, and maybe once in a while I'd get a phone number, I'd get a date, but I wasn't able to sustain that success. Maybe I'd hook up with a girl, but I wasn't able to keep her in my life. And it wasn't until I evolved to the being phase that I was able to keep the women in my life and start dating more. Whereas before my reality was just going out constantly. In the being phase, it kind of balances out to you have women on the go. You're dating multiple women maybe, and maybe your experiences with women last not just a one night stand or one date or 2 dates or a week or whatever. It might last for several months now, because you're just a more attractive person altogether, and you have a good foundation. You've developed a personality at this point, and women are more attracted to you as a result. This phase can last from months to years as well, and you should evolve to the next level when you're looking for something more meaningful. Okay, so the being phase is a great phase to be in. If you just want to, reap the rewards of the doing phase that you're in before. So this is the phase where you can have a lot of fun. You can be going out and just hooking up with girls, have a lot of short-term relationships, and that's great. But if you're looking for something more meaningful, and in my opinion, something more in terms of like a great long-term, long-lasting relationship, or perhaps a higher quality woman in your life, then you need to evolve to the third level. And stage 3, that's the third level, which is what I call the lifestyle phase. And the lifestyle phase is when you eventually get bored of constantly approaching the same type of women or the same results, and satiation occurs. And at this phase, you're looking for a higher quality and more meaning. In this phase, just going out and approaching women doesn't help you grow like it once did. Whereas before at the doing phase, all this stuff is new, right? And you just grow radically just from going out, just from doing your approaches. But it gets to the point where all of a sudden just going out and doing that, you don't have that same growth. You're not jumping up and improving as you were before. And during this phase, you begin to develop the depth of who you are and build an attractive lifestyle. Okay, you begin focusing on who you are in your overall life. In the lifestyle phase, you may take a step back from going out much in this level, whereas at the beginning you're going out all the time. In this phase, you kind of evolve out of that. You build the other areas of your life, okay, such as your success, money, health, fitness, spirituality, etc. And you notice how this new balance takes your confidence to another level and attracts a new quality to your life. You're becoming more high status. Okay, that's really what it is. The more that you improve every other area of your life, the more you're improving your status. And the more you grow, the more you have to give. Okay, you're becoming a man of value, high value, and you have more value to give to the women you meet and interact with. And as a result, more of the 9s and 10s, the really beautiful quality women that you really want, that are attracted to you. They're really attracted to you because you're not just a guy with a great personality or with confidence or whatever, but you have your whole lifestyle together. Okay, some of the 9s and 10s, the most beautiful women, they have a lot of guys already that are pursuing them, approaching them, that are already, cool guys, confident, have great personalities. Whereas, basically by improving your lifestyle, you're going to become more a type of man that a woman is going to want to associate for a relationship. She's going to, it's going to make you become like the total package, if that makes sense. Now, women want to be in a relationship with you now at this point. Okay, they want to be in a relationship. They don't just want to, hook up with you or date you or whatever, but they want to be in a relationship with you because you embody everything that really a woman wants. You don't really have to chase women as much anymore in this phase. They find you. And you would then be defined as a total 10 in anyone's books because you have the results in each area of your life to back it up. I remember my cousin actually once said to me one time, at the beginning, you're kind of hustling, right? You have to put in the work to develop your social skills and, all that kind of stuff, your confidence. And it gets to the point, like I just said, where women will find you once you develop your whole lifestyle on top of the personality and everything else. So it's a really amazing evolution. At this level, you don't have to go, to malls or clubs or anything like that anymore. Okay, what you're attracted to is actually changed because you've evolved, and that therefore you attract something higher. And this is what's interesting. At the beginning, for myself personally, I would see like these girls at clubs or bars that were just like gorgeous. They were dolled up. They look beautiful. They get all this attention and whatnot. And for me, I would do anything just to be with them. Just because I wanted that validation of being around a beautiful woman and having her in my life. And what happens is, as you evolve, as you mature, as you develop your lifestyle and everything else, you actually aren't really attracted to those women as much anymore because it's not just about the looks or the validation or whatever. You're not really that interested in like a 19-year-old girl that looks good but has nothing else going on in her life, right? Doesn't have the personality and everything else. So as you evolve, understand that the women you're going to be attracted to are going to change as well. They're going to evolve too. And in my opinion, in this phase, you will have a very successful, long-term, meaningful relationship or marriage because you are so abundant emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, etc. Okay, you're the total package. You have ultimate choice and options. You have the tools, the skills, the beliefs, the mindset, and the lifestyle to support you for the rest of your life, okay, at this level. And ultimately to pay it forward too. You can begin teaching and inspiring and showing other people the way that you've been through because you've been through the evolution. So what stage are you in? Okay, I hope all this made sense to you. I was kind of going through it pretty fast and whatnot, but what stage are you in? Are you in number one, the doing phase, where you're kind of new, you're still developing the consistency of going out and attracting women and getting dates and developing your personality and confidence? Or are you in the being phase, where you've already been through and gotten all the experience and you've had a lot of experience with women, and now it's just about being and the results are coming and you can just be yourself and you're just naturally attractive? Or are you more in the third phase, which is the lifestyle phase, which is, you've already got the social skills, the confidence, the beliefs, the experience with women, and now you're focused more on developing your lifestyle so you can have that balance, that total package. Now, I will say as well, a lot of guys, for example, I meet a lot of guys and I coach a lot of guys who are already successful. They already have a great lifestyle. But what's lacking for them is the doing stuff. They have the money, the car, the apartment, the really cool lifestyle and whatnot, the body, but they don't have the practical experience with meeting women and the consistently of approaching them and attracting them and all that kind of stuff. And so if that's you in that case, then you realize, well, you're already in a way ahead. You've already got the lifestyle phase down, but you also have to go down to the doing phase. You have to develop yourself and get that experience. So of course, I'm not saying as well, you have to forget about your lifestyle. Of course, you still want to build those things as well. But especially if you're new to this and you don't have a lot of experience and you're not consistent with it, you have to go through the doing phase no matter what. And there's always a price to pay for success. You have to make some sort of sacrifices to really make it happen. And you're going to have to sacrifice maybe a few months or a few years to really, to be going out, to go through the feedback and the rejection and approaching women and putting in the time and effort so you can get that stuff down. And of course, that comes at a price of maybe spending less time in other areas of your life so you can get that down and then you can balance yourself more in the lifestyle phase later on. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. Really just take a look at yourself in terms of where you're at. Maybe you're been stuck in a certain phase for a while and it's time to evolve to the next level. So this is for you, and hopefully this has helped you out. And that's basically the end of this video. And if you want to really master success with women once and for all, I have an ebook that's available at www.masteringsuccesswithwomen.com. And it's basically an ebook that I wrote that will help you go to the next level, will help you develop the tools in terms of the being and the doing phase to become that naturally attractive guy, and just basically speed up the whole process. And it's all the stuff that I've learned through my 7+ years of meeting women, dating women, all that kind of stuff. So check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. And thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.